to strengthen, transform your relationship. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 16. Can't believe we're already at 16. I feel like I also say that every single week.
True.
Yes, but we're excited to be here. We're excited to have you back. And also, you are watching this after our big announcement.
Yeah.
When we first announced the podcast, we said we had a big announcement, and everyone was like, "You're having a baby." As you can tell, it was not a baby. It's not going to be a baby. So if you hear us say we have a big announcement, it's not a baby. So I'm sorry to disappoint anybody. But we are really, really excited about our, coaching that we have going on. We're really excited to take everyone on this journey. And we wanted to spend just a few minutes. We promise it won't be the whole episode. Just a few extra minutes in case you missed the announcement dropped on Friday, or I guess actually it was Thursday evening. We want to talk to you a little bit about it here and a little bit more about the why too. So Janely and I were like discussing what we like to hear when we're like listening for something, right? Like I like to hear like the details, like just like what is it? What am I getting? You know what I mean? And Janely is more of like, how would you describe what you want to hear about?
I want to hear the vision, how I'm going to feel when I'm there.
Yeah, you're like, we were both describing it. We're like, well, how are we going to describe it? And I was very like, boom, 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 boom. And you were like, yeah, that was like the best way to describe it. So it's 8 couples for 8 weeks. Each week we'll have a 90-minute coaching session with everyone together. And Janely and I will lead you on a journey to strengthen, transform your relationship. So it's open to cisgender and transgender couples. Can be any identity on the main spectrum of identities, but really trying to stay within those, that kind of community. So we all have a general understanding, and when we're talking to one another, we have a relatable piece to our couple and your couple. And there will also be assignments. So at the end of each session, there will be assignments, and then we will be checking in on those assignments. We'll be sending some emails throughout just to kind of, let people know and things like that. It'll be hosted virtually, obviously. It'd be nice to do something in person. I don't know, maybe we'll see what
one
that
day
looks like.
Yeah,
like, maybe one day we do something in person. Maybe like everyone who graduates like gets invited to something bigger. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not going down
that rabbit hole, as you can tell. So those are like the fine print things, right? Like right now until the end of today at 9:00 Eastern, we are giving 20% off. That is going to be the most we give off the whole time, just kind of as like a exciting, there's like a million different reasons. It's like Black Friday and Small Business Saturday and Cyber Monday, right? But overall,
and just 'tis the season to invest in your relationship and yourself. And I'm all about gifting experiences now. Like I just feel like this is going to be an experience as a couple,
right?
And happy holidays, happy New Year, because we're going to start right when the New Year starts, pretty much right after the New Year. And it's going to be 8 weeks. It'll take us into the last week of February, I think. So it'll be something to really take your relationship to the next level in the new year. And it's going to be great for us too. Like I keep thinking about that. It's just like so my why is like, I wish that we had something like this when we were a younger couple, when we were a couple that was like realizing that we had work to do emotionally, if we really wanted to stay together and be happy and sustain our happiness. And it feels good to like gather a bunch of wisdom and be able to share it and process it. And like, we're excited to like hear your nuggets of wisdom too. Like every couple has a little something to share, or a little perspective to bring. And so I think that's a big part of this, is this like, container we're trying to create. That's why we really want couples that consist like of a trans person and a cis person, because like we want that relatable experience for everyone to feel like, oh yeah, like on some level you get us because we are this specific type of couple, right? Obviously every couple is different no matter what.
We are a niche couple.
Yeah.
We are very niche. We are hard. I don't want to say we're hard to find, but we're kind of hard to find.
Yeah, well, definitely like back in our day, right? It was
right.
like
But I
you
think
felt like you were
now,
meeting a celebrity if you met another couple like us. Literally, that's how we met.
It's
like
true.
that's literally how we met, because we wanted to meet another couple like us.
Right.
And then we were like, actually.
Right. And I think also like definitely good to have for younger couples, but also I would say older couples too. Like
Absolutely.
I think in general, the topics that we are going to be guiding you on, giving advice and coaching and really taking time with you as an individual couple, you know, can really span any type of relationship. It really doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been together. You know, it's really just for people who are very, you know, you want to start the new year intentional.
Yes.
And you see there is an ability for you as a couple to grow, but also saying that everything that we are teaching is very personal too. Like you're gonna have to, like, for people who want to come, like you need to know that you will be doing your own work as yourself, and you will be doing work as a couple. And so I think that is something to keep in mind, right?
So the invitation to get more vulnerable than you have been in the past, if that gets you exciting, great. If it scares you a little bit, that's even better, right? Like it's like, if that pushes beyond your comfort zone, I encourage you to explore that. And
well, it's like if you feel like that's your time, like if you know, I feel like you know that you've been up against your comfort zone, but you kind of want to go over,
and you're just like, you know what, I'm tired of just like living in this cage of not allowing myself to have what I want because I'm scared of vulnerability.
Right. And I think that's why we're doing 8 couples. And the reality is like we're not going to take bless you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
We're not taking any more couples. Like it would be great if like we were like, wow, like, oh my gosh, like we had 15 couples sign up. Like we love all of y'all, but like we're only doing 8, and that's what we're doing right now. We want
to be able to,
it needs to be a container so that people can be vulnerable. They will be recorded, but everyone will be like in agreement that these are not for sharing. These are for, you know, you and yourself. The only, like Jaylee and I were like, do we even record it? It's like, just because some people, you might not be able to make it, or maybe one of the half of the couple can't make it, things like that. So, but we have a lot of exciting things planned for the 8 weeks. We're really excited about it. Again, you know, check out the link in the description box, 20% off. That's it. Like, you know, we're really, really, really excited. We had planned this course in the springtime.
Yeah.
And we waited and waited and waited until it got to where we felt like now is the time, and we felt like we knew what we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And we also felt like we had established our own boundaries of what we needed it to be so that we could show up the best we can. So we're really excited. You can go to the link below. It gives you more details. If you have questions, feel free to leave comments. You can email us your questions about the classes, or rather the coaching, at gluedtogetherpodcast@gmail.com. So happy to answer questions, especially if they come up. You can leave them in the Google form. You know, I don't know how quick it's gonna fit. Like we're recording this beforehand. So I'm like, I don't know, like maybe it's gonna be filled, maybe it's not. I really don't know.
Yeah, if your body right now is like, yes, we have to do this. Obviously, check in with your partner if they're not in the room.
Right.
Or if you want to surprise them with a gift that you feel like they'll be like, yes, this is the gift I need, then go ahead and do that. But yeah, we're not sure, because this is our first time doing this, how long the 8
is gonna last.
Tickets, right? Tickets? No. The 8
spots. They're 8 couple spots. We've got spots for 16 people. And then there's us, you know what I mean? So overall, though, I think what I would say is that we did our absolute best to be as affordable as possible while also respecting our boundaries and needs of that, of the financial piece to this. So just know that right now at this 20% off, like that's the lowest we financially could go to commit for 8 weeks, this 90-minute plus additional, because we have other work that Jenny and I will be preparing in between each session. So we really did our best, and as Jenny was saying, like, this is an investment starting at the new year. You can take all of these tools and the toolbox that we're going to be giving you for the whole rest of the year, like,
and then some.
Yeah, like very
pretty
exciting
much for
stuff.
The rest of your lives together as a couple.
The rest of your lives together. You can invite us to the wedding if you're not already married. I'm assuming that we're going to have a nice mix. I'm excited. Like, I hope that we have like young folks, old folks, new, seasoned.
Yeah, there's no requirement really in that way in terms of how long you've been together. It's really just like, this relationship is important to me. I want to invest in it. I want to make it as great as it can be. I want to improve my sex life. I want to have better communication. I want to create community and meet other couples like us so that we can feel like normalized in some way. Like, I'm not the only one going through this.
Yeah, like seen, seen. I think that's what a lot of people explain in our videos and in our comments, and in the DMs, that like this podcast help people remember that they're not the only ones going through it. And, we're going to continue to be vulnerable with y'all. And also, like, nothing we talk about in our coaching is going to be like brought into our podcast,
right?
Like, unless people like, unless there's like a clear understanding, like, oh my god, this is so great, we will be like, can we but we
would get consent for
we're
sharing
not crossing
any part of it, but the main focus is that it's a container of confidentiality, and that we are all there to support each other within that container, and what happens in that container stays in that container.
Exactly, 100%. So we're really excited. If you've already signed up, thank you. We cannot wait to meet you and build a relationship. And we have a lot of exciting things planned. We're really looking forward to it. Again, this is something we've been thinking about. I mean, we've been thinking about this podcast / hosting a course of some kind for probably years, but like, this course that we have has been in the making for the last 6 months, and I think it's really good, and I'm really excited about it. So so go check it out. Again, it'll still be available. We'll still chat about it periodically, like, until we get
definitely
those things those seats filled up. And again, once we get those seats filled up, we'll probably just open up to, like, for people who are interested in getting kind of like a first dibs when we do another round. Right? Like, I would say that.
Definitely.
So we're definitely taking March off. I have a very busy March, so it will probably be like a spring, summer session. You know what I mean? So, but we'll get more into that later.
Yes, we're really excited. We are going to be hosting it on Wednesday evenings.
Yes,
it'll be a hump day situation.
Yes.
And it'll be nighttime, so the intention is for it to be cozy, sort of like a not a double date, but like a group date of couples coming together to, like, just support each other. And the goal is to have a better date night after you have this group date night, right?
And
so
we tried to make it later, multiple reasons. Selfishly, Andler's asleep.
Right. We thought that would support other parents as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it is, it can run. It goes from 7:30 to 9 Eastern time.
Yeah.
And so, we thought that was kind of the best time when it comes to being able to have all of your day stuff done. You settle down. This is the time that you normally be spending with your partner anyway. And now we get to do some real work. You know what I mean? We get to put in the work. We get to do work. Excited about the homework assignments because those are going to be fun.
Yeah,
and the connections people will make. So, excited. Check out the link in the bio. You can learn more. And thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here, hearing us out, and considering this investment in your relationship.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So back to the regularly scheduled programming.
Yes.
Since we've already chatted, I thought maybe we can jump into our glue before we get to questions today.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was thinking about my glue,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like my glue this week. Yeah, I was really trying to think about like what was it. We had a very busy weekend. It was fun though. Like, so Friday night we went to a friend's house and we had a baby. Like, we split the babysitter price, which is like, if you have a friend, that's the way to go. We did a sleepover. We split the babysitter price.
Yeah.
It was half of the price you would normally pay.
It was Antler's first sleepover.
Yeah, it was really
slumber
cute.
Party. He was very excited.
We slept over too. It was our own slumber party. But we like hung out with the other parents and like played Catan.
Yeah, Catan.
Which was fun.
It was
never played.
Intense.
Yeah, it was intense, but it was fun. I would play
Learning
again.
curve for me, for sure.
Yeah, we had never played. And then the next day, what did we do the next day? The next day we had, we went to the winery.
Ooh,
we went out east. We ate amazing cheese and olives and honey fig truffle something.
It was like a truffle honey. Oh,
so
that
good.
Stuff was amazing. Shout out to, can we do that?
What? Shout out
to our friends.
Oh yeah, why not? I mean, I'm assuming they don't mind.
Yeah,
you never know. Maybe we just keep it low key.
Okay, so we hung out with another trans.
We hung out with another good friends here.
Yeah, that's always just fun.
Yeah, we're going to their wedding, which we're excited about too next month.
So
actually,
excited.
Just a couple of weeks, really.
Yes.
I think like 3 weeks. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna text him like 3 weeks, and he's gonna freak out. And so that was really great. And then Sunday, what did we do on Sunday? Sunday that we had the football game. I raked leaves, which was fun. Antler and my brother and me were like throwing Antler into the leaves. So it was just like a fun, it was just a fun weekend.
Very active. By Sunday I was like exhausted.
Yes.
I was just like,
the Giants won, which I don't know if that's good or bad right now in their season, but whatever, that's good in my mind. So yeah, it was just a fun time, fun weekend. So I think like the glue for me was just when Jane and I are very focused financially, saving money. Again, you've heard this story before if you've been listening. Living with my mom is really hard. I mean, it's just like, I think my mom overall is great, but it's hard to live with family. It's hard to go from one family dynamic to now living in someone else's house who has their own family dynamic, and you're trying to bring your family in. It's just different. It's just hard. And so our intention to being here and kind of the thing is like, okay, we're still paying some kind of rent, but it's like half the amount we were paying in Florida, if not a little bit less than, like a little bit more than half of saved. We're saving all of that money. We are working hard, and so I think my glue is that even after we had paid money for a babysitter and we went out to the winery, like we did that. We spent that money very intentionally, and I felt really good about it. Like there have been other times where we have spent money on like a dinner, but then like we fought during the dinner, or we didn't like the food, or someone was annoying, or like there are so many times you spend money and you're just like, what did we even spend that money on? I felt like we went in with a budget. We were very clear. We had a good time. Sometimes I have like shopper's remorse or whatever that's called, where like you spend money and then you're like, why did I spend all that money? I'm such an idiot. And I felt really good about it. We had our budget meeting on Monday night. So I felt like it was good. Like we did good. And so like, I don't know how that's a glue, but like, I guess my glue was like our intentionality when it came to finances, which is something that is very, it's something that we as a couple are constantly working on. It's just like what we were clearly made to work on in our lifetime together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that that's definitely
heavy
it.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Adulting at its best.
Ugh. I hate it. That was my glue. About you.
So I think my glue for the week is, I feel like I've upped my, it's funny because we answered a question about self-care last week, and I feel like it like infused me with like upping my self-care game.
Reminder.
Yeah, like I just feel like I've been more clearly identifying what I need, and like I won't say that it's easy to say it to people, but I have been saying it more, and I've been more clear about it, and I have more ease. Like it has created more ease.
Yeah.
Like my mornings are feeling easier than before. I think I was able to name what I needed in the morning. Because I'm not a default morning person and I need a lot of caffeine in order to get me there. I feel like, yeah, like just like naming what I need. And of course, like I just feel like every time I name what I need, like you like jump to do it. Like, and it just like feels like really like nice, you know, to feel like, oh, all you really need is to know what I need. Like, you know, like obviously you have your own needs too, but like it just feels like you really value that information from me. And I feel like,
well, clarity.
Yes.
Like just tell me.
Yeah.
Cause I think it's easier for me to tell you what I need. You know, like it's hard for me sometimes to know what I need, but once I know it, I feel like I have an easier time than you do to tell you what it is. Cause sometimes what you need can be like, sometimes I'm just not that I'm not nice, but what I need is like, I need to not have to care about what is going on. Like I need to do my own thing. I need to, you know what I mean? Like I need to ignore everyone for 3 hours while I watch a football game. Because that's what I need this week. Like I need to be able to sit there and just do my thing, you know? So,
yeah, no. So I have a couple of examples of how that showed up for me this week. Like I don't even have to share them. It's just more like, yeah, like identifying that I need to be able to say what I need in order to feel better and like find more ease in my days. And I just feel like I had so much resistance to that in the past. So
yeah.
Feels good.
Yeah. It's a little like, almost when you say that, I'm like, oh, good. But then I'm also like, I hope I'm not trying to control your needs.
Oh, no. Definitely not.
You know, because I'm just more like problem solving. Like, January's not doing well, which makes my life harder. So tell me what you need so we could fix it and get it done. And then everyone will be happier. You know what I mean? So like meeting your needs, like hearing your needs is also like selfishly good for me, but good for you too. So
for sure.
I think it's a win-win.
Yeah, like if we can, the more we can like meet each other in both of our needs being met, the happier we both are. I mean, it just makes sense. It's like science, you know?
Yeah, it's science. It's totally science.
Quick little update about my boot journey.
Oh my gosh. Get out your journals, people. Mark it down.
So, you know, you go and you look around, you buy and return, and then you go to Marshall's.
I thought we talked about your boots, that you found the boots.
No. So what we talked about last time was that you stumbled upon some of the boots that I thought we accidentally donated.
That's right, because you had bought. Okay, I'm sorry. We don't have to rehash.
Nope.
Okay, to it.
So these are actual new boots that I purchased with money I've been saving since my birthday, and they are comfortable. They were affordable. Like I waited and I found the right pair. I didn't have a black boot at all. I have a few pairs of camel color boots because I do love camel color, but like, yeah, this is my black boot. And
I think it's cute how you always tuck your little sock out.
Yeah, I'm definitely like a sock and boot person. Like there cannot be the boot without the sock.
Yeah, but just like it's cute.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks. That's all.
Okay. All right. Great. Journal entry closed. The end. Love, Jenny Lee. I don't know. Like people sign their diaries like that. All right.
Thank you for supporting me on my boot journey.
Yes. Let's jump into your questions.
All right. So, first question.
Great questions last week, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you again all so much. It really just does make this podcast
more fun.
So much easier and more fun for us when you guys are just like, here you go, talk about this. And we're like, great. Okay. So it says, keep doing what y'all are doing. It's good stuff. Thank you. Are you both still vegan? How did you get started and why did you decide to be?
That's not my story because it's shorter.
Okay.
Jaylee, well, you can say why you turned vegan, but Jaylee became vegan and then I did because it was easier. It was like, I would be like, well, just make my chicken on the side. And she did at first, but then she stopped. And then she was like, if you want to make chicken on the side, you make it yourself. And I was just like, I just didn't want to. I became lazier, right? Like, I think I became lazier and didn't want to do it. I was doing it. And then it just became easier to just be vegan. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of things that I was learning that were in our food, particularly like meat and dairy products. And so that was like, okay, well, for health reasons and to get better quality food. And that's also, I will say, when we started to switch from non-organic to organic, and now I would say 80% of everything we eat is organic. And then when the switch went back to eating animal products, now it's like only organic animal stuff and grass-fed and, high quality. And so that's what, I think was the biggest shift that I made or I learned being vegan was what the hell's in our food. I mean, we're very particular about what we're eating. We're not perfect. We're definitely 80-20. Like 80% we are very picky and 20% we're like, oh, it's okay. That's fine. We can eat that. Or, like, yes, I'll take that. Like we're like, we get Starbucks. Like they're not using organic grass-fed milk.
Right.
Granted, you know what I mean? But
we get it a lot less too.
Well, yeah, but even if we're getting Starbucks once a month, because that's like on average, that's probably what we get Starbucks once a month. Like we're still getting Starbucks, so that's like the 80-20, right? Like out of the whole month, it's like 80% of that, everything we've eaten is organic, high quality foods to the best of our knowledge and our ability. And 20% is like crap. You know what I mean? Or like not as good, not as high quality. And I think that's like the biggest thing I learned from I've always loved animals. I know that there's also, repercussions around our earth and like our climate and stuff that have to do with food. So also just eating less meat still. I know that I still do eat meat, but I eat so much less meat than I did before we were vegans. I ate a lot of meat and animal products. So that's another thing that I've kind of taken out of there. And just, again, like I think that awareness of what's in your food, like we are constantly being like, we're not eating that. Oh my gosh, did you hear about this? Let's get rid of that. So we always try to do our best. That's even why we have the bulletproof coffee, because it's clean, it's tested, it's high quality.
Yes.
Coffee,
Yeah.
And
cheers to Bulletproof, by the way.
Yes.
We'll have that link down below if anyone wants to try it. It's awesome, and we have an affiliate link.
Yeah, we do. Yep. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of it. I don't have too much of a. I was a vegetarian when I was really young. I was also straight edge, which means I didn't have caffeine, I didn't drink alcohol, I didn't do any drugs. So I was that for not too long, but a period of my life as a teenager. And yeah, so I mean, I probably wouldn't have been vegan if you were vegan, like if you weren't vegan, just straight up, like. But I wouldn't say it was bad. I think I started to not like veganism once being vegan started to be cool, and a lot of people were like all of the fake meats. Like we started eating more fake meats, and that's when I was learning that like this is actually not better for us. And if we're going to eat a fake meat, you should just eat a very high quality actual meat than all of these things, because the difference is like we weren't making like a bean burger, right? Like we were eating.
Well, no, I mean we were eating bean burgers, but we were also eating all of the processed burgers too.
That's it, right? Like the processed stuff. I found myself
and it just
eating.
became easier, especially as parents. It became easier to just like make the quick thing because, especially during certain years,
right?
Like you just are like.
And I started eating more of that. I started eating more and more of the processed stuff.
Yeah.
To the point where it was like, I shouldn't be eating a processed fake beef. I should just be eating high quality grass fed beef. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, and like that's where too like the environmental part comes in, right? Because it's like like this is better. Eating this versus the animal burger is better for the environment, but it's not better for my body.
Right.
So
and how do you find the balance?
Yeah, exactly. How do you find a balance with like, yes, I respect the earth and I want to contribute to respecting the earth, but I also need to respect my body because this is like the earth that I live in. Right. My body is the earth that I live in.
Right. And then it's like, where are you getting the food? Right. Like, are you going to the farmer's market? You buying from local farmers who's helping them? Like, you know what I mean? And so we try to do that as best we can. I definitely will say since moving to New York, we haven't been doing that, but it's an ebb and flow. And so I always respect when people are vegan. When they're vegetarian, the food's really good. There's we still eat. I mean, we just got Thai the other day, and we got steamed tofu, so
I think we have built a new foundation. Sorry, I'm not trying to.
No, I'm kind of rambling now. Okay. You go.
Okay. I feel like we've built a new foundation of like plant-based food with like meat added to it, or animal products added to it. Because even for myself, like I didn't just like snap become vegan. Like all of a sudden, like I was wanting less meat, or like my dinner plate, like the only thing left would be the chicken or the meat, and I would eat everything else. It was like, okay, well, this is wasteful. Like I'm not really eating this. And so like I had already been practicing intuitive eating, which is like I was eating according to like what I felt like I wanted to eat in the moment. And so following that kind of led me to like I don't really want to be eating meat. So I became vegetarian first, where like I just stopped eating meat, but I was still eating eggs and dairy products. And then and that was actually, this happened right when I became pregnant, or like in my conception process. Like
you stopped drinking,
right?
You stopped. I mean, I think you didn't really smoke weed that much anyway, but you had stopped that way before. You stopped drinking completely.
Yeah.
You stopped eating meats, and
right.
It was like slow progress. So like by the time Antler was born and a like 6 or 7 months, you stopped that.
Exactly. Completely. Yeah. So like it was interesting.
Eggs were like the last thing to go.
I was like, is Antler? We didn't know his name at the time, but is my baby like guiding me to be a vegetarian or to be vegan? Like, because I like this has never happened in my whole life, and I'm like 30 something years old. Like this is weird. And we at the time living Pacific Northwest in Oregon, we had a bunch of friends, neighbors, community that were vegan. So like we were being exposed to the culture of veganism and like learning about it and whatever. And I think once I had my son, it was like I didn't want eggs anymore. I didn't want dairy anymore. At that point, we hadn't really watched any of the vegan documentaries or anything, but like eventually, I think we watched a couple of them, and we were like, okay. No,
I didn't watch any of those scary ones.
No.
I watched one. We watched one.
Yeah.
But it was more about was like athletes and stuff like that. I forget the name of it now, but I didn't need to watch those things to know just so many that it's crappy.
There's so many different perspectives, right, about it. And for me, it was just like, initially, like, this doesn't feel good in my body. I don't like the energy of this, right? So like, and then, because, you know, like, I'm an energy person. I sense energy. I read energy for a living. That's what I do. And so I started reading the energy of meat and dairy and eggs as like, this isn't good energy. And then, like Aiden was saying, like, eventually, like, at this point in time, you know, fast forwarding, again, I guess it's 5 years now, because we were vegan, like strict vegan, for 4 years. So Antler's whole life up until this last year has been just vegan food.
We might be like a year and a half. Time is getting into a warp, being here and having moved, but
so like we were vegan for 4 years, and at that point, like Eden said, it was like harder to find vegan food that was like minimally processed. And the prices of vegan food were skyrocketing. Not to say that, like, I mean, eating organic and eating, high quality, like grass-fed dairy and all that stuff, and meat, and that is also expensive. And we have come to a conclusion of like, we want to spend our money according to our values. We have decided that we value health as one of the biggest things in terms of values. And so we want to support that by eating as clean as possible and as unprocessed as possible. But yeah, with all of that said, we're not perfect. And so like when we stopped eating vegan, right, or we started introducing animal products, eggs and dairy, like, we basically, for me, it felt like self-care, because it had gotten so stressful, like emotionally stressful, physically stressful, to have to find the food, make the food, and financially stressful, because it just became so expensive to be buying this and that, and to always having to make our own food or bring our own food, because you would go somewhere and nobody would have something that was vegan, or like rarely, and we would have to show up with our own tray of food, even though if we weren't vegan, we wouldn't have to. And so it was just becoming exhausting, especially for me being the one who prepared all the food. It was just like, so we stopped doing all that, and we're like, you know what, we're just going to take a break, and we're just going to lean into what we want in the moment. We're moving anyways. Like, let's just try this out. And I felt so much relief and like less pressure, anxiety, stress in terms of like having to feed my family in this particular way. Excuse me. And yeah, I think that we have built like a really wide foundation of food to like eat from. Like Antler, still, like, one of his favorite things is baked tofu to eat.
This kid doesn't he barely eats meat.
Yeah, like he's still
he doesn't really. He likes cheese
he's still mainly, I would say, vegetarian. He won't touch chicken with a 10-foot pole.
No.
Like, I mean, so maybe ultimately it was his energy that was pushing us into it. That he didn't, maybe it's a choice he's always going to make. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But like, my biggest thing in terms of raising Antler that way always was like, well, nobody informed me as a child, anything about the meat industry or anything about how food is brought to my plate. And so I want him to understand where food comes from and like, what that process is, and
have the choice to what he wants
just
to
be able
eat,
to make informed decisions, because I was way in the dark about a lot of things in terms of food. So I think that's important. And go ahead.
No, I just wanna. It feels I'm feeling an energy build up in me that like I want to put across to everyone listening that like we are just doing what we think is best. And that like one other thing we really learned in this whole journey is like people get to eat how they want to eat, yo. Like, let them fucking eat it. Like, you want to eat at that restaurant, eat at that restaurant. You want to eat at this restaurant, go eat at that restaurant. We're gonna eat at this. Like, just like what is in your cart at the grocery store, like I just don't I don't not care about you, but I don't care about it. Like it's important that people make choices that feel best to them.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that choice is. And so like we are not, we try our best like to not like whatever you like, I just don't care. Like, oh, you're eating that? Cool. Like
we've actually,
but I think it's also we want to be able to eat how we want to eat and not have people say things about it, and we don't say things about what other people eat, even if we would we wouldn't eat that.
Yeah. And we never want people to think that like we think that we're eating better than anybody else,
like
because
we're
something
really
that's,
guessing,
can happen.
We're,
and
we're hoping that the choices we're making are what's best for our body.
Right. And I think like the reason, because we've had this question for a while, honestly, and we decided
it's an older one.
Yeah. And like I feel like, for me personally, it was like I decided I wanted to share our process with food and with veganism and, just with food in general, because it normalizes that we all have a process with food. We all have our own journey with food. And like there's no right or wrong, and it's really about leaning into what feels right for you. I mean, I had my father die at 54, like it really shook me up in terms of like wanting to know more about what keeps our bodies healthy and what, is going to help me grow old with my family. And so that's my story though. Like that happened to me. I mean, you have to go off of like what your journey is, what you're being guided to. And, our journey has been really messy and like not perfect. And, just a lot of willingness to say, you know what, I thought that yesterday and this is what feels right today, and not feel in any way like you're not allowed to change your mind.
Right. 100%.
Because you are,
100%. So make the choice that feels good to you, and we will support you in that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. More questions?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what time it is. I feel like we went into a time with that topic,
we went a little
which I had a
off
feeling
the
we
rails.
would, to be honest. Like I know for me, like I have a lot of passion behind food. So
right. Exactly.
I'm definitely a self-proclaimed foodie. Okay. So, Aiden.
Me.
Do you ever get tired of doing your testosterone shots? Now that you've had a hysterectomy, do you need to take testosterone for multiple decades longer?
What was that noise?
It was my phone, even though I put it on Do Not Disturb.
Oh, okay. I don't even know it got picked up on the mic, but it threw me off. Am I tired of my T-shot? Yeah. Yep. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I'm done. If I never had to take it again, it'd be a good day. It'd be a good note. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, who wants to stick themselves with a needle every week?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's more annoying. Like I have my reminder. I have my Trace app, which if you're interested in the Trace app, you can check it out in the link below. But it's still just annoying to do. It's just like, oh yeah, I have to do that thing. You know what I mean? So, and it like hurts, and like I don't like blood, and like you have to like shove a 1/2-inch needle into your body. Like there's nothing fun about it. You know what I mean? And then you have to like go get blood work because you have to check your levels, which is smart, but it's exhausting. So I go 3 times a year, so it's just kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's healthy, it's good. It's just not. I'm just over it. Like, and you got to remember like where you did it. Sometimes you get sore, so it's not fun. I'm over it. But I also I'm too much of a paranoid person when it comes to health to like get a pellet, and a pellet is like, they're more popular not in the US, they're more popular in other countries where it just slowly releases testosterone and you get it replaced every, I don't know if it's every 3 months or 6 months or something, but you don't have to think about it. They just like put the pellet in and take it out. You know what I mean? I think it even might even dissolve or something, but I'm too paranoid to. Maybe it's totally safe, but I mean, I don't even like like I get in my head sometimes if I like take ibuprofen, you know. So, but yeah, that's what I would say.
Cool. Okay. Next question. First, I want to say thank you for your open and honest VODs. I've been following Aiden for years and appreciate this new shared content.
Oh, great.
Backstory. I'm a trans guy with a higher libido than my spouse.
Hey.
They have offered to lay with me and touch my chest and kiss me at times when I am taking care of business myself. But I feel awkward and kind of embarrassed doing it with them there, and even if I know they're home. I also have the thought that if they are there, they should want to do more, and maybe they're not as attracted to me as they claim. My question is, has there been a time when one of you has a much higher libido than the other? If so, how did you deal with it?
Jay Lee has a higher libido than I do.
Naturally, on most just given days, right? Like just more naturally.
Yeah, Jay Lee has a higher libido than I do. It's just how it is. You know what I mean? But I feel like I have to sneeze.
Is it happening?
It's happening.
Okay.
Pardon me. So, I mean, I guess I can see how that would happen, right? Like, you're already there. Like, you're laying with your partner, you're masturbating, they're touching you, but they don't want to do it for you? Is that the problem?
They're not, like, if it was up to them, they wouldn't have sex, but their partner is interested in it, and they've been like, well, I'll be here, I'll hang out. But
right, but like you're saying you would kiss me, but you don't want to just do it for me or with me.
Yeah, like it's like one person is like,
because if you wanted to get off, if you wanted to, right, and I didn't want to, I would not be like, I'll help you, because I don't want to. I would just be like, go in the other room. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so but all I'm saying is, like, I can see how that could be like a self-conscious feeling of like, well, do you even want to be here? Like, what's the deal? You know what I mean? But having a lower libido than your partner has nothing to do with if you're attracted to them or if you want to be with them.
Right.
It just literally means you have a lower libido. Like, you don't think about sex as much. You don't desire sex as much. You don't, you know what I mean? Like, and that's just, yeah, I think that's just different per person. And it sounds like you just have to figure out how are you going to handle that?
Yeah. And I think, you know, it's complex, right? Like we've talked about in a previous podcast about like how emotions can affect libido, right? And so, you know, for me, like if I'm interested in having sex and you're not, like I don't take it personally. I feel like maybe when we were like a younger couple, like there were definitely times when I did, because I was not as confident in my like self-esteem, right? I feel like now it's just like, oh, okay, you're not in the mood, like, and like then determining like, is this something that has to happen tonight? Like I feel like learning to get my own sexual needs met has helped our sex life get better, if that makes sense. Because like I'm not like passive aggressive or like you know, like annoyed at you because you're not in the mood. It's more just like, you know, and it's helped me be proactive in, you know, I feel like even our plan for tonight is an example of this, of like, you know, like we got invited to do something tonight, and like I initiated a conversation with Aiden that was like, do you really want to go tonight? I really wanted to have sex tonight. Like, is it,
both things are not going to happen.
Right. Like, I don't think that there's going to be space to have sex tomorrow or the next day. Like, so like, what decision do we want to make? Like, so basically what I'm saying is like me being more proactive in inviting sex together and getting on the same page about when that can happen feels like
do you feel like it calms your libido?
Yeah, like
if your libido is this little like little person inside of you, this little animal, it's like, I want to have sex, sex. Like talking it down and being like, not tonight, but tomorrow.
Yeah,
makes it go like, okay, I can wait.
Yeah, and it shuts down whatever voice you might have that says they're just not attracted to me. They just don't want it. When there are other factors involved, like they're having a stressful day, or they didn't get to shower today, and that affects how they feel about themselves, or whatever the case may be.
But also but to come back to it, like some people just have a lower libido. It has nothing to do with emotion or their feelings. It's just like, I don't want to have sex because I'm just not feeling sexual.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I'm just speaking to my own experience of like what seems to work for us. Because like, just because I typically am down for it more often than you.
Jayleen's always down for it. I tell her this all the time.
Well.
Sometimes I'll be like, do you want to have sex tonight? She's like, I mean, I can,
get there.
I can get there. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like, I know you're down for it. Not because I think I'm hot shit or anything, just because you have a higher libido than I do.
Yeah.
And so I think that little voice is like when it hears me say that, it's like, hello, hi, I have awakened,
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think, things go awry for me when I am not proactive in creating a plan with you that feels like we're both on board.
Right.
Yeah, because sometimes it really just is like a dropping the ball of like,
oh,
we waited too long. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm too full. Oh, whatever it is. Like,
so how do we get out of our own story and get more specific to answering this question? Because I think that it's helpful to hear that, but if we get more granular about the question, it's like, how do you internalize that your partner has a lower libido, is not interested in pleasuring you, but will partake in you pleasuring yourself, in the sense of like, it's okay, like pretty much, like I picture it more like yeah, you want to like masturbate, that's fine, like I'm not offended, you can do that, like I understand that I have a lower libido, like, oh, do you want me to like kiss you or like rub your chest or whatever, right? Like while you're doing it, like I can get down for that, because I'm just not interested in actually having sex. And so if you do that, it's quicker and easier for me, but you also get your needs met. So it almost sounds like they're going a little out of their way to meet you in some type of middle ground, where it's like, I don't want to have sex, you do, I'll like be here, I can help you a little bit, but like I'm not going to do it for you because I don't want to, and that's going beyond my own boundary of like, I don't want to have sex. You know what I mean? So that feels healthy. I'm just like talking it out. Like that feels pretty healthy. And then the thoughts of like, is it just me? Or are you just not attracted to me? That also makes a lot of sense. Right? Because it's like, well, why don't you just want, like what I was just saying in the beginning, like, well, why don't you just want to help me? What's the big deal? Like if you loved me, if you, if you were attracted to me, you would just want to have sex with me. But that's not true, because if you don't have if your libido is lower, you're not going to want to just have sex with them. Like it's not, and it has something to do with them being attracted. So I think that you have to think about, or my suggestion to you would be like, it sounds like you're actually not comfortable with them helping you get off. It kind of sounds like maybe you just want, right? Like, Because if it's making you, if them helping you makes you think that maybe they're just not attracted to me, then that's not a good thing. You probably shouldn't do with that.
To me, that's the biggest thing here. That would be the game changer for you, right? Because like obviously, like you have a higher libido, your partner has a lower one, and you're sitting there asking yourself the question of, maybe they're just not as attracted to me, and like that's not helping you get your needs met, right? Like, so you working on breaking through that false belief, right? Like that, that has nothing to do with my partner's attraction. Being able to talk through that, even bring it to therapy or whatever the case may be, so that you can wholeheartedly believe that it has absolutely nothing to do with me,
right?
And that we're just two different beings with separate needs. I think that would help you release any shame that you're feeling about taking care of yourself and your needs as they arise.
Right. And like it just sounds like, again, just from this perspective, it just sounds like actually having them help you is not actually helpful to you. Because it's making you think of these things as opposed to just masturbating on your own time. And like, oh, they're in the house, but like, I mean, that's just something you have to figure out, work through. You know what I mean?
My last thought about it is that the more that you are taking care of yourself and you're not being needy to them in a way that they don't feel like they can fulfill, the more that they're probably going to want to have sex with you. That's my truth. I mean, not to say that their libido is going to skyrocket or whatever, but just like in the sense that maybe...
Well, just less pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
If pressure is one of the reasons that they're not having sex,
right?
Then that will be released.
Like feeling responsible or feeling like... It goes back to the like orgasm anxiety conversation, right? It's like, anxiety about like having to get in the mood, right? Anxiety about like being able to meet your libido could be distracting them from just... naturally having their libido more available. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it does. I think if that is a factor, right? Like we don't know enough, right? So we're kind of just like, this is what happens with us. This is what I'm hearing from the question. This is something that could happen.
Ultimately, they did ask, has there been a time when one of you has a much higher libido than the other, and if so, how did you deal with it? That's the question. So
the answer is yes. Jane has a higher libido than me. What we decided was that I think in the beginning I would be offended when Jane would masturbate, and now I am just okay. I'm just like, I get it. Like, I didn't want to, and you handled what you had to handle.
And
right?
I just know that I am happier and more attractive when I'm satisfied.
There you go.
And that leads to more sex between us. And I've kind of tracked that within my own...
In your journal.
In my own journal.
In your sex journal.
So just,
your sex journal.
Something to experiment with.
Yeah.
Pleasing yourself might have exactly the result you're looking for.
Right. Yeah.
In many ways.
Yeah. And just remembering that yeah. That's what we've done. Literally. That's it. All right. If you're interested in the 8 couples for 8 weeks, coaching we'll be doing, going on this journey with us, going, as a couple with all of us as well, right? Like, we're all in our own little canoes, but we're going down the same little river here. Check out the link in the description box below. You can sign up, 20% off till the end of the day today, 9:00 Eastern. Really excited. Otherwise, you can also check out the link in the description box for the Bulletproof Coffee we mentioned, the Trace app that I mentioned, as well as to ask us more questions. We love your questions. As you can see, like we are dissecting these questions. We are like, that's not what they said. That is what they said. What did they say, right? Like, so we're trying to hit this thing from all angles and get
no pun intended.
Thanks for joining. We love you. Catch you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.